Hello, welcome to Pipe and Coffee Book Club. We're actually on vacation, but I was lured onto a cruise ship. My wife wanted me to visit, wanted me to come with my brother-in-law and his wife for his birthday, and I've always been really weird about cruises, but this one went to Key West and to Bimini, and being a literary freak, right? I thought, okay, well, this will quickly turn into a Ernest Hemingway literary tour, and it's been really nice for that. First off, today I want to go through. There's a couple things that I brought with me. One, I did bring a pipe. I brought a few actually, but this is the one I thought would be interesting in showcasing, because this pipe was actually this pipe actually existed when Hemingway lived in Key West, and also it's a really nice pipe. One of my favorites. It's a pot, a 295 by Cumoys. It's a lion's head, which is a second, and this one has had this one's had a stem made in the past 90 years since it's been manufactured. Really nice pot, really nice pipe. I've been really happy with this one. It's got some really nice bird's eye, some cross grain. It's just a really nice little pipe. I don't have a pocket on me, but it fits in the pocket really well, and it does really well with Latakia based and English tobaccos, more complex tobaccos, because it does have such a broad surface area. Everything's burning at one time across that surface area, and you really get the full flavor. But brought this one because of the time. Also, I brought some Balkan Sobrani because it was also in production at the time. So that's been real nice. There's a place on the ship where you can smoke a pipe, and I think I'm the only pipe smoker here. There's a few cigar smokers, a lot of cigarette smokers, but probably the most. And I have had a lot of coffee, so I'm not gonna. The drip coffee here is basically bottomless, and I'm basically bottomless when it comes to drinking coffee. So it's been a pretty good trip for that. And there's a couple nice little spots if you really like coffee. At least this cruise, this is a Virgin cruise. It's got you covered. But I don't love the mall-like atmosphere. I don't love all the other people really all that much. But hey, you got me to Key West. Yeah, this is not Key West behind us. This is Bimini actually. So if you've read Islands in the Stream, this is the island that Islands in the Stream, where Islands in the Stream occurred. Also, it's this is where the main character Thomas Hudson lived. It's the first of three parts, but it makes up the majority of Islands in the Stream took place here. In fact, Ernest Hemingway stayed here at a place, I think it was called the Complete Angler. It burned down in 2006. It was a landmark. People that came to Bimini, from my understanding, went there. There was a nice wall that had a crazy amount of photos and memorabilia from Ernest Hemingway's time here, and it burned down in 2006, I believe. And actually, the person that owned it passed away in the fire, so that was a pretty big tragedy. I didn't make it over there today, but my understanding is that there's still some parts of the structure still there. So a little bit of that history is still there, but not as it was. Another interesting thing about this point is between here and Key West, and these fisheries around here, is where one little book that you might recognize, Old Man in the Sea, was inspired by someone in this area that was fishing, and this is the setting of this book. So it's nice to be here. I thought this was probably the best place to stop and visit with you a little bit about these things. Also, kind of going back to my trip to Key West, this is, I don't know if you should read To Have and Have Not. It gets a lot of mixed reviews from Hemingway critics, but it's a really nice book that deals with some of the I guess the seedy underbelly of Key West. So while I was at Key West yesterday, my wife and I were able to go visit and tour the Hemingway house. We were really impressed with a lot of, he was there with his wife Pauline, which was his second wife, and this was the early to mid 30s, and there's a lot of really cool elements. The house was built in the 1840s, I think, but Pauline upgraded everything to be very Art Deco-ish. So there's a lot of Art Deco, particularly in they had indoor plumbing, and the bathroom tile. Look it up; it's amazing. It's yellow. I told my wife if we could find it, we'd do a whole bathroom just in that. But it was a nice little trek through, the house where Hemingway wrote a huge chunk of his works. Actually, what I've been reading while I've been here is that he wrote a few things here actually on Bimini, and the work that he did on Bimini and the work that he did in Key West made up, I think they said, over 50% of his writing, and that's really not a huge amount of time, but there's a lot of cool stories here, a lot of cool history. I was also able to visit Sloppy Joe's bar, which was a bar that was frequented by Ernest Hemingway, and just the feel of Key West is interesting. We went to Judy Bloom's bookshop, which is actually a really nice bookshop in town. Was able to see the southernmost point in the continental United States. Didn't make it over to Tennessee Williams' home, but my understanding, and hey, I've got all kinds of props today, right? So I bought this while I was there because it'd be really nice to have a copy that I bought where it was finished. But the Streetcar Named Desire, the last bit was actually finished in Key West. So there was Tennessee Williams' home in Key West, obviously Ernest Hemingway. There's also, when Ernest Hemingway first came to Key West, he wasn't planning on living there. I think they went to pick up a car actually that was there, and they fell in love with the area, found the home, which is right across from the lighthouse. So if you ever go to Key West and you wonder where's the Hemingway house, it's all flat, right? So you look out across, and when you see the black and white top of the lighthouse, the Hemingway house is just literally right across from it. So I'll incorporate a few pictures here so you can see those. But also Robert Frost spent some time in Key West. So the home where he stayed is not well marked anymore, but we were able to find it and just take a couple pictures of that and be there where Robert Frost worked. I think he stayed six or 16 summers there. So there was a lot of good work being done on Key West. And Shel Silverstein, the tree that inspired some of his work. I mean, obviously the sidewalk ends somewhere over there, right? But Shel Silverstein lived in Key West. So this has been great. It's the actual cruising part, I could take it or leave it, but going to Key West, going to Bimini, these were great little destinations because I personally have read a lot of Hemingway. It's really nice to be in the area, in the place that inspired the work, and it's been a really successful trip. So there's Bimini. We're not too far from Key West. I think it's 50 miles from Florida at this point. And just like I said, I wanted to share some of this with y'all. This was a great little literary trip. It was a bit of an added kind of fun bit of time here. I'm going to spend some time out here staring out at the ocean, and maybe go get a cup of coffee in a bit. So I'm glad I was able to share this with y'all.